Welcome to Control Your Narrative Weekly, Episode 9. I am the narrator.
I am the essential character.
The man to the right of me still speaks in esoteric tones and levels that only certain microphones can grab.
You know what they say, speak softly and carry a big dick, okay? Teddy Roosevelt or somebody of that nature said that. I'm sorry I was talking low. You love it high, I love it low. That's why we meet so well in the middle. But yeah, you said it's sweater weather?
It's sweater weather.
It is sweater weather. I own a print shop with multiple sweatshirts, and I went to Wisconsin without one. I left my free EC3 hood available at freeec3.com under the wearable propaganda section in the back of my automobile. Oh. And so I had to borrow a sweatshirt from Cal Hero. So thanks, kid.
That was a Cal Hero narrative shirt, or was it a collar elbow or a Cal Hero shirt?
Actually, I took it home with me, and I'm going to throw a 3 brand right on the back of it. It's a very nice Eddie Bauer, actually. Ooh. It's quite comfortable. So anytime I find somebody else's clothes, I usually wash them, and then I'll bring them over here, and we'll print our shit on them.
Yeah, whether they like it or not, they're getting a 3 brand.
But then I keep it.
So let's talk about that last weekend. Very sad, tragic accident. I did a lot of research on that. And, there was a lot of people on the legal end of things that could have prevented this tragedy. And
$1,000. I mean, yeah. I don't want to get into the schematics of it, but
yeah,
because it would affect the algorithm of this. Yeah. Telling the truth. Yeah. Why is that? Think about it. It's not hard. Why can't we tell the truth about what happened in a tragedy in the United States of America? Oh, it's because we have to protect certain things and certain classes.
Because the algorithms rule everything.
So, yeah, people died, but whatever.
Same thing happened in Michigan recently, and it's very, very tragic what happened in Michigan. But they were the teachers were meeting with the parents that day.
It's amazing what you can find out when you do research and you don't listen to the media, the news. It's amazing how it's almost like it's bought and propaganda, which we joke about, but it's a real thing. Yeah, it sucks. But
everybody is programmed to a certain level of propaganda anymore. That's where having an open conversation, open forum of two like-minded people that can disagree on something and still walk out of it
only
agreeing
one side can't disagree.
Yeah.
You can't have a
rare that happens.
Caption.
But you and Adam raised $10,000 for the families?
Over 10.
Yes. Wow, that's beautiful.
I believe so by the end of it because people were so touched by what we did. And then a lot of people, we started that meet and greet and we were going till halfway through the show, and we just had to get back to prepare for the ass kicking. We were going to give Rakit and Jake something. So, but no, by the end of it, people were like I was walking to the back thanking everybody for coming, and people were just like, here's 5, here's 10, here's 20, give it to the cause. And I'm like, oh, it was great. And it's not for the accolades and the praise. It was because it was the right thing to do. And rarely do I have a sense of fulfillment and happiness in this shit world and shitty industry. But I remember why I do what I do. And it was for a night like Saturday night at Blizzard Brawl. So thank you to David Hero. Thank you to Adam. And thank you, Waukesha, Wisconsin.
And that was Adam's first independent wrestling match ever, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, of course, my first independent match had 3,000 people in it. It was a sellout.
Selling out the same room as Hogan and Andre.
Yeah.
Which is true. But it was,
I did too.
We're going to go into a promo package here, a little bit of a highlight reel about how that match happened. But what was it like being out there with Adam on his first independent thing? He just seemed to be full of so much positive, strong energy that was like his vibe everything was just so on point.
I think too, breaking the conditioning of who he's been, another man's monster, another man's creation, feeling that out there and feeling him feeling it out and just realizing he can be himself. It was freeing to watch that. And two very capable opponents that we had a good time, a fun time, raucous crowd, Wisconsin bred. Like that state means a lot to him. The city obviously going through what it did. The interactions we had with thousands of fans prior to the show, like it was a very good moment. And I remember after the match, he's got a power slam. 1, 2, 3, yay! And like I'm sliding in there, and I'm like calling for the mic. I'm like, "You want to say something?" He's like, "Yeah, you just tee me up, brother." I'm like, "All right, you got it." But then he gave an impassioned, heartfelt speech. It's amazing what he can do when he doesn't have a white piece of paper with an insane butchering of creative meaning on it, written by a old man, whatever. It's amazing what he can do when he speaks from the heart, because when he speaks from the heart, he means it. And when you mean it, the people feel it. Everyone felt it that night. It was
he was Shakespearean in a way in his performance. I mean, it was seeing the Adam that he's always wanted and meant to be. And he was, instead of getting those brief moments as Braun Strowman with the kids and the fans, that's what he used to live for. And when the pandemic happened and he wasn't able to perform in a live crowd and his depression kicked in, those were all pretty honest realities. Seeing him with all that energy in the room and going crazy like that, and he did it for a good cause. And he did it with David Hero, which is a very, very respected man in the industry.
Very much so.
And just being a part of that whole experience. So we put together a little, minute and a half to 2 minute highlight reel. But if you're listening to this at home, we're going to drop in a quick little interview that Adam did with CBS discussing the event. So here you go.
Man, so here's the deal. So we're doing a meet and greet, autograph signing, photo opportunity and stuff before and after the show. Myself and my tag partner for the night, EC3, his real name is Michael Hutter. He's one of my best friends, business partners, and my tag team wrestling partner. And we've been very blessed and fortunate in our lives with everything that's been allotted us through professional wrestling, working with WWE, now working outside of WWE, and being Wisconsin is near and dear to my heart. My sister and I are the only ones in my family born out of the state of Wisconsin. I just built a house in Neosho, so I mean Waukesha is my back door, my backyard, and I think this is an awesome opportunity to do some good in the community and stuff. All the money, all the proceeds raised from the autograph signing meet and greets will be donated to the families and the victims of the Waukesha Christmas parade. And I'm really looking forward to having a huge, massive turnout because, it's in Waukesha, so the people of Waukesha will be supporting this for a good cause, looking to do a little bit of good in a time of bad here, coming up on the holidays. And, it's just an opportunity to give back. That's what life's all about. Again, I said I've been so blessed and fortunate to be able to allot and see the things that I've done and travel the world and doing. And this is an opportunity for me to give back to all those people that have supported me along the way and gave me the option or the opportunity to be in this position.
Yeah. Give us a sense of what kind of impact that will make, because I'm not sure that many people know that's a pretty big part of a wrestler's income at an event like that.
Yeah, it's a very big thing. A lot of these deals, these meet and greets and stuff, I'm hoping to raise a minimum of $10,000. I don't see why, people coming out for photographs, autographs. I'll be signing action figures, signing personal pictures that we'll be bringing. And again, 100% of the proceeds from my meet and greet and EC3's meet and greet will be donated to the families of Waukesha.
How about that theme song? Huh?
Adrenaline Rise. Hey, is that theme song available on our Spotify and Apple Music?
Absolutely, it's available on Spotify, and Apple
That
Music,
song
and
jams,
all
that
the
song
streaming platforms. Yeah, Tommy Tanks hit it out of the park on that one.
You know, when we were doing the match too, it's not like we had rehearsals or like an entrance planned or anything like that. So it was very cool. I got to be out there for that first playing, and it's going to take a while for people to be conditioned because they're used to. And then like a shitty train whistle they added. I think I don't know why they would do that. That's a horrible idea, but the people started feeling it, and then like you could just feel the atmosphere and like his natural fire and charisma coming out when it played was like he was feeling.
And all this week as we were prepping for it, like I remember telling you, like, hey, you get to be a part of feeling that feeling for the first time, and it's as introduction to the Titan as Rise is. It's been a theme song for us since we kind of helped create the character, and free the real man that's inside. I create the character. We're still, this is the Rise of Titan, and you're going to see it over the next year or two, where he actually, Adam Scherr is really starting to become Titan.
Yeah, also thank you to Ian and 3 Count Photo for the sweet footage. If you need a job in the narrative, it doesn't pay. You get to sleep on my floor, but when we film one, you're in.
Yeah, if you want to sleep on the bunk beds in the basement we're building, you can have one right next to Vinny Pacifico. So this week's psychoanalysis is with one Zane. Now, who is Zane?
Oh, Zane.
You may be asking. Zane is the creative mind behind most of Ring of Honor's propaganda, as far as the visual aspect of it is concerned.
VRs, video packages, promos, camera work. He does it all. I was very excited to get him on here to talk to you because since I've been in Ring of Honor, produced some of the favorite synopses of what's going on that I've been involved with. Like he captured what I do and what I'm about. Even when I was first coming in there and I was supplying him our footage, our theme music, we were all on the phone together and I never met the guy, but he's talking to us and we're spitting it back and forth and he has these great ideas and narrator and I are just kind of looking at each other like, oh, this guy fucking gets it. And then he works so incredibly hard. He is easily Ring of Honor's, in my opinion, most valuable employee, and they should keep him for as long as possible because he has a lot of value. He reminds me of a young Jeremy Borash, just slightly better looking. But he can do it all. He's passionate about what he does. He feels it, and he can make my promos rule, so I'm easy. But he can make, I don't know how they say, chicken shit into chicken salad.
Yeah, he knows the recipe.
Yeah, so
the Jarrett family recipe. It's a Bruce Pritchard thing.
Oh, okay, good. I don't.
It's a Bruce Pritchard thing.
I gave Double J a Control Your Narrative shirt, so hopefully by the time this airs, he has it on his Instagram. But
yeah.
So Zane, yes, I wanted him to have a chance and an opportunity to speak to the audience of wrestling who don't know the unsung heroes, the people that do the work behind the scenes that goes unnoticed, unreported, uncredited. This is him. Go ahead, take it.
Yeah, and real quick, I've never met Zane before other than a few interactions between email or phone calls. So it was my first time meeting him. And very similar to my psychoanalysis of Vincent, it was a lot of us getting to know each other throughout the process. And he's so impressive. And I really hope to one day be able to co-produce with Zane. And I think that's what a lot of that conversation was. It was like, are we best friends already or what? You know what I mean? And I think there's hopefully going to be a future where I get to create with him. So here it is, the psychoanalyzation of Zane from Ring of Honor. Today's psychoanalysis is somebody that not many people is going to recognize, but you're going to recognize his body of work. I'm here with Zane from Ring of Honor. What is your role at Ring of Honor?
Producer. That's the easiest way to explain it, is just saying producer. Because
you're
I produce
you're still holding the camera. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things where you wear many hats. You know, you produce talent, right? You help with promos. You produce the video packages, right? You post-produce, right? Edit. You do some directing too, just, bodies, moving bodies. But producer is like the broad hat you wear because it's the easiest thing to explain your title.
I go through that a lot with the narrative. What do you, I'm the producer. You know what I mean? I'm doing, we're not sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're up till 3 a.m. and waking up the next day hating our lives because we got to do it for 15 hours. But this is what we love to do, right?
Yeah.
No, but I've, to be honest, this is probably the first time we've talked in person, but I was when EC3 goes to Ring of Honor, I sent over all the original narrative treatment that we did for the first narrative over to you, and you called EC3 on the phone. I'm in the car with them, and I'd hear you talking about making propaganda videos and how much you had heard the passion in the way you're talking about it and your knowledge about it. And I'm not throwing anybody else under the bus, but I wasn't really happy where the essential character in the narrative went to Impact. I thought that they kind of missed some of the actual art of what we were doing. They kind of took it and digested it in a wrestling lens, where you, who worked for a wrestling company, one of the biggest wrestling, especially wrestling-centric companies, you took it and saw as the art form and saw the propaganda in there. And it was so, I remember when EC3 debuted, I was just like, I felt like, I can let go of that anxiety. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. You don't probably hear that often, but, aside from, there's certain producers in the business, yourself, Jeremy Borash, Jimmy at NXT and stuff, that I'm just like, I always look out for what they're producing because you guys are the innovators of right now. You know
I
what
appreciate
I mean?
that.
And like straight up, and you're also working within, a different type of a post-pandemic world where you don't have the energy of the crowd, which was Ring of Honor's feeling for so long. You're trying to create art out of something different. I'm not saying it doesn't have energy, but you're having to grab different things and edit different ways.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot to unpack with what you said. The first thing, thank you for the kind words, because that hearing that makes me motivated to continue doing my best work and pushing to be even better than I have before. I mean, the first day that I spoke with EC3 and hearing all of his ideas, everything you guys were doing, it kind of like woke me up because we were in that pandemic, right? I was sitting there just editing archival stuff because we needed things to get back, to TV for. So I'm sitting there, I'm on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I knew he was coming in, and I was like, this is cool because he's probably got a fire lit under his ass where he's pissed. He wants to make his art, he wants to do what he's gonna want to do, and he's gonna be like passionate about it. And I love working with people that match my energy. It's tough because a lot of people in this business that are working backstage or producers, it's just like maybe wrestling's not their background. They just fell into this because this was just I like doing video or I like producing talent. Like, this is my life. Yeah. So working with someone that's their life, of course, I'm gonna match that, man, and we're gonna make some great stuff. So all the things that he sent, like, it was just gorgeous footage. Yeah. It was just so cool and different. So it made me think, wow, what can I add with my flair, right? Like, what could I add into it to kind of like make it as good as I can? Because I don't want to do it wrong by you guys, right? You guys entrusted that footage, that idea, and that intellectual property.
You're the only person I trust with it, you know what I mean, outside of our world. And like that's something that, like, because the essential, like, EC3 in the narrative and EC3 in Ring of Honor, like, this is all his narrative. This is, regardless. But I, on my end, helping create the character. Like, in the Fight Club world, I'm the narrator. I am the essential character as much as he is the narrator too. And he speaks through me and I speak through him. So to have that where I don't have that control of the narrative, oh my gosh, the anxiety and seeing like how you have portrayed all that stuff. And I think we've talked off camera, but I want to say this on camera. Your edit of him and Jay Briscoe, oh my gosh, like the story in front of no crowd, the story that you guys were able to tell, they gave you the opportunity to have the right angles. And I looked at him come back, I was like, can we do a narrative when I do the voiceover for this? Like, I wanted to do a narration on it because I was motivated by the actual storytelling. It matches with like 14 and a half minutes too. And you're on the edge of your seat like the whole time,
They did a great job with that, both of them.
And this is something that I watched when EC3 was living with Jeremy Borash. I'd have to watch him edit a lot of these no crowd matches and watching him cut down all this stuff. What was your challenge when you had to switch over from, hey, I got all this energy and I can cut, you don't have the cutaway to the crowd anymore. You don't have that reaction. A spot happens, you can't go this anymore. How did you challenge yourself in those situations?
Well, since I make the VTRs, the video packages, all those types of things, profile pieces, especially in the Pure tournament that we had. So my challenge is to make Ring of Honor, especially with no crowd, feel bigger than it is with no crowd. Because when you have literally no one in the audience, and these guys are sacrificing their lives in front of no audience, just the virtual people that we hope are watching on TV and social media, like, I gotta do what I can do to make it worth it, right? To tell the story, because at the end of the day, the physicality that's in the ring, you know, that's one thing, but the story you tell trumps everything, in my opinion.
Me
so
too.
some of these guys are
storytellers.
every single guy and girl backstage, they're storytellers, and they need the platform and the time to be able to tell those stories. Some are very good at that. Some are learning and getting better. And my challenge was trying to figure out visual ways to accentuate the positives and completely hide and diminish any negative. So, you know, talk about just footage of people that, there's no one in the crowd, or even if we had a shot of people in the crowd, but there wasn't many fans, something like that, you just don't use it, right? What can you cover it? What can you cover it with? So I started utilizing the beauty shots, right? So we get these shots in the ring with the fog and the lights, and you want people showing their reactions of just life, right? So what in your life hurts you? What makes you happy? What makes you angry? What makes you enraged? You know, like, show me that. Tell me, I'm talking to these, you know, and then I'm getting the facial reactions. You shoot that, and then you put that footage in the video package when it calls for it.
It's beautiful.
You know, so if EC3 is in a video package with Jay Briscoe, and you know, it's like got whimsical, tribal-esque music. I use a lot of this, you know, these different influences from all over the world. They have beautiful music, ethnic music is on our database that we use. It's awesome. And like, you know, he's just like doing a thing. He's just, you know, looks up, right, and just stares out. Like, clearly he's thinking, right? So like, I gotta put that video footage over some sort of voiceover dialogue or narration that is going to, you know, correlate with that. So it's just kind of like distracting visually and giving something more appealing and interesting. It's like in the ring. People, you know, facials, right? What do they sell? The same thing. And
so let's let everybody know at home, this is where I'm marking out, you know what I mean? Getting the chance to sit down and talk to someone who does this full time. This is all very fascinating, very, very fascinating stuff. Let's talk a little bit about, for everybody just being introduced to you, how did you end up in Ring of Honor? Did you go to school for this background, or is it just a passion for film and wrestling that got you here?
So, I mean, since I was probably like 10, I wanted to work in wrestling in some capacity. You know, everybody grows up, I want to be a wrestler. Like, that's cool. Like, you're on your trampoline, you make a wrestling federation, you have a home movie, and you're like 12. You know, break your friend's neck, that kind of thing. So my goal was to work in wrestling. I just didn't know how. So I was like, well, you know, I'll just, I'll go to film school because I need to go to college anyway, because, you know, everybody.
That's what they say.
That's what they tell you. And then
that's the
find out
propaganda
later that you owe a lot of money and you need to pay it, even if you die. So I went to college, Fairleigh Dickinson University in North Jersey. And, you know, made music videos for my band at the time as a musician. So I would always be making, like, you know, different kinds of things for my own projects that I was trying to pursue. And then in grad school, I went and got my master's of business administration and media management. So film, television distribution, media marketing, and all that kind of stuff. And there I was at a party city for getting something for Halloween or whatever. And I'm wearing some wrestling centric something, like a hoodie or whatever. And this guy's like, oh, like, you like wrestling? Like, you know, there's a wrestling school down the street, you know? And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, you should check it out. I'll train there. And I'm like, oh yeah, never once saw him when I started going. So I went, I started training briefly. You know, it was never so much as a goal to be full-time wrestler.
I would always word it when I would go train was to understand how to be a producer. And that's how it was. It was just, you know, I started training after I ran wrestling for 7-8 years. I moved down here, and I actually went into training because I just wanted to understand how to communicate. It was just an issue of communication and just being like, hey, what do I want out of the story? And it was getting in the ring and just finally understanding. Like, at this point, I've already produced 200 wrestling shows. But it was that awakening, and it was like 3-4 months of just doing it 3 days a week and going through that process to finally understand, okay, I don't want to wrestle. I want to actually produce it. You know what I mean?
It helps you understand a lot of the psychology of the way you need to think when you're in the ring, right? Like, I'm not saying I learned a ton of stuff where I was like, yeah, I can go and have a match right now. No, I know basic stuff. I learned basic things. And what happened was, you know, all the trainees have to set up chairs for the event, and I'll, you know, pay your dues and all that.
The dudes.
You know, I was in grad school at the time, so I'm like 23, 24. And I was just like, you know what, man, like maybe there's a better way to utilize me to pay my dues. So I was like, listen, instead of just setting up chairs, can I make a video for the show of the night, like a recap? I'll stay ringside, I'll shoot my own thing, right? Like it's like more of a cinematic look. So I did that. And then they were like, oh, like, can we keep doing that? And then I started doing backstage stuff and producing the promos and then making more. And then like word kind of spread, I guess, like in the area I was in. And, you know, I started getting like bookings to go and travel and film and do things. And, you know, I never wanted to be like a ringside camera operator. That was not the goal. The goal was to be in a position where I was backstage producing talent, helping people speak their promos, visually how it looks, the packages, creative, coming up with segments and ideas, essentially writing without actually writing.
Yeah, without pen to paper.
I'm really I like collaborative efforts, and that's what's great about Ring of Honor is it's collaborative effort, you know, and we come up with things and it's fun. And that's how I got involved. Was I just grassroots way, you know, train, do stuff for free for a long time, like real long time. I went to Australia for about 10 months and I lived there. And then I went on the indie circuit there in the like Brisbane area, and that was awesome. Because
did you work with anybody that's of name now, or?
So I did some work with Davis of Aussie Open. Okay. I did like a highlight package for him, like right before he left to move to the UK. Now he's in Will Ospreay's stable.
Okay, yeah.
And who else? I can't.
That's to be
the one,
25, 26, and just.
That's probably the most mark. Yeah, he's the most like known guy right now. But everybody over there, just to put everybody over there over, they were great. Everybody in Australia and wrestling.
It's a whole different.
I went to
beast.
MCW one time just to shoot because I wanted to just get out there because I was on the different side of the country, right? Yeah. It's like whatever. And Mikey, he's I don't think he owns it anymore, but he invited me out, and it was like Ospreay versus Robbie Eagles and. Adam Brooks, which is a shame that I never got to meet. He was supposed to come to Ring of Honor, but like they had a great show, great operation there, and like just everybody that I interact with in Australian wrestling was really fantastic, and I got to learn a lot. I did a House of Hardcore show while I was there too. Just work camera.
Yeah, but like I forgot. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer did take it down under for a second. Yeah. It was what, like 2013 or 14. He just was on a roll with that House of Hardcore stuff.
Yeah, I was there in 2017.
2017. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Young Bucks were on that show, and Spirit Squad. I think they wrestled.
Yeah, Spirit Squad.
Yeah, you know, and it's just I just remember being backstage, and I think it was Kenny from Spirit Squad, he was like, you know, talking about, what can I say to rattle these people? And then I'm like telling him like all this Aussie slang that I've learned over the last few months that might get under their skin. He's like, okay, I think I might use some of that. But
especially if they do it like an annoying male cheerleader.
Yeah. I mean, they're great. But so then coming back to America, I got in with Capital Wrestling, which is now Catalyst Wrestling in New Jersey. And I was direct, kind of like what you're doing in a way where you're shooting, you're producing, and you're actually editing, post-directing the show, right? You're everything, like all that. Yeah. So that was me for 130 weeks. I did that.
I should do that with the narrative. Like, how many weeks am I doing this for?
When I got up to episode 130, because I started just editing it while I was away. I said, Matt Ryan, his name is, right before I left for Australia, I was like, hey, I want to help, but I'm going to be away for a while. I'm like, I'll edit the show. So while I was over there, I edited the show. And then when I came back, I started actually directing and producing everybody, people there. And a lot of those guys, like, they're going on to, do, some cool things. And that helped me learn what I needed to learn to get to where I'm at now. I'm always learning. And I need to know more, man. Yeah. Like, I'm just trying to get better and better because I have big plans, man. And that place allowed me the ability to exercise my creativity in a way that was actually helping people feel more comfortable in who they were as characters. And the most important thing, one of the most important things as a performer is knowing who you are, because if you don't know who you are, no one's gonna believe that.
Absolutely.
And
I
believe
say that all the
in
time.
you.
Yes.
So I wanted to make people believe in themselves, so when they went out in that ring, they knew, oh yeah, I'm gonna make everybody believe. And I wanted to be a part of that. And they gave me that opportunity, and it was tremendous. And through that, a couple people that previously worked at WWE and a couple guys that were, established guys backstage. They put in a good word at Ring of Honor when they were in need of someone, and I was very grateful and very blessed, and the opportunity came at the right time, praise God, and it brought me there.
How long have you been there?
Over 2 years now.
Because
Interesting 2 years.
Yeah, like you're like a godsend to a lot of the talent, and it's feedback I get a lot of the time. And like I said, other than the few names I talked about at the beginning here, it's like not many wrestling fans understand the amount of talent and sacrifice that the producers go through to create this product, and especially doing it on a weekly basis, with the big a big pay-per-view here and there and stuff. That's an insane, and you're lucky because you get to do the compilations and get to look at what the story is and stuff. Before we talk more about that stuff, I've played in at least 25 bands. How many bands have you played in?
Probably like 4, but they were all like, it's like the members kept changing.
That's how it is.
But names kept changing and like location, like it started in Jersey, and then you're in middle school, and then you're high school. Those guys, like a couple of them fall away, and then you get to college, and then like grad school, and you move to New York. And
how old are you?
29. My birthday's actually in 3 days.
Yeah,
so you're 30.
You're just kissing your peak. You know what I mean? You're just starting to kiss your peak. You've already done a lot. You know what I mean?
Trying my best. I hope I have many more years of getting better and doing bigger things.
What was your biggest influence to be a musician? Like, what's your favorite band? Like, let's do some band. Let's get off the subject for wrestling for a second. Let's do
Incubus and Rush.
Okay.
So Rush.
So you play bass?
I am a bassist, but I'm also a lead singer. So Brandon Boyd from Incubus, he's my vocal spirit animal.
Yeah. Make Yourself. I was mid high school when Make Yourself came out, and like I was already in the underground metal
That's
scene.
what my tattoo says. Make Yourself in there.
Yeah, it's like that record, and it was because Science was great, but Make Yourself, it is it's all a panty peeler. I've always said that album's such a panty peeler. It's such a I saw them a lot during those 3 records, and just like a lot of them in opening slots too. So they're still trying to prove themselves. Beautiful time about them. I never got to see much of Rush. I've seen a lot of Rush cover bands.
Yeah, I saw them at Madison Square Garden on my 16th birthday.
Wow.
And that was the one and only time I got to see him. And it was great,
beautiful.
Man.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
So every package or everything you watch, especially the video packages before like a big match.
Oh yeah.
I want people to watch that and feel the soul that's in that. It's not just they slapped together the story. Okay, great. Wow. Okay, it's 4 minutes of whatever. Like just people talking in a ring. No. I want people the music, the people to feel that and be like, oh my gosh, like I want to see this guy win.
Absolutely.
I want people to look at someone and be like, they're a star.
We talked about this off camera when you did the package for the 4-way match. EC3 did the last pay-per-view. Where he is the storyteller, and you're literally placing in these 3 other, like the Brody and the 2 luchador guys. So Bandito and what's the other guy? I always forget his name. Flamita, yes.
Demonic Flamita.
Demonic Flamita, and like seeing that, and like I was led to believe that this was a big EC3 triumph, and like you never know, and like I was like I'm watching the package and the service. When we said this over and over again, to not see a packed crowd, like that was an issue. Like I was like, man, I watched that package, and then to see not 500 to 1,000 people just going crazy because I was drawn into it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's what you want to hear.
I was drawn into it, and there's one thing I probably gotta give you credit for. EC3 will laugh about this, but there was Ring of Honor pay-per-view recently where you guys pull out the VHS tapes.
Oh yeah, anniversary.
The anniversary, yeah. Did you produce that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to go on Facebook Marketplace and find the VHS, like cassette, like the thing that you pull out.
Yeah.
It'd be like when the guy's hand's going in and it pulls out. I bought both of those things. They're in my basement right now. So I just moved and I was like, should I get rid of them? Like, and then my girlfriend's like, no, like keep them, and then we could do stuff with them later. And I'm like, you're right.
I saw that, and I come into and I'm so about originality, and I come in and I talk to EC3, and I'm just like, I'm booking this, this entrance for Matt Cardona to, leave his house and get in a Ghostbusters car and ride to go get his ass kicked by EC3. And I was just like, man, like, that VHS thing and Cardona is so nostalgia. So like I went on Facebook Marketplace and I got the VCR and I made a thing that says Matt Rules and I filmed it in here of me putting the thing in there. But it was one of those things where I'm like, no one's gonna, because like unfortunately, I wish somebody would be like, wow, Ring of Honor did that. But no one, it's just right over everybody's head. You know what I mean? But it was one of those things where you influence the narrative artistically. I was just like,
cool.
That's a really great way of starting, because it's literally a 5-minute metal Ghostbusters thing that Cardona.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, this was a way of just starting it off, and I can release that as its own little piece, and it's the way to hit play.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and like for me, that's awesome. I love that. Like the reason why I did it was because it's our 19th anniversary. Ring of Honor was basically founded as like a tape trading company.
Tape trading company, yeah,
so
absolutely.
Like I just took all of my personal VHS tapes. I have like 100 something from growing up, and I just like relabeled them with masking tape. I'm like, let's call it.
It was a great way too on your end to not have to. I mean, you did have B-roll footage of the 19 years, but you didn't have to do tons. You let the art of the actual VHS tapes tell those stories that you like. I saw exactly what you were doing. I was like, this is great. You know,
I
what I mean?
appreciate that.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. That was a fun one to do because I just had to take a bunch of memorabilia and stuff from the office and just decorate my spare bedroom with it. And I was like, all right, let's make this look like the Disney vault, except the Ring of Honor vault.
Absolutely, and that's something. And like it's something as a wrestling fan, and like I started promoting wrestling in 2005 and 6. So I'm literally like the Samoa Joes, the AJ Styles, they're all on top of Ring of Honor and stuff like that. And I'm lucky I'm getting to book Claudio and all that stuff. And there was so much of that mid 2000s Ring of Honor, which was the fucking shit. Like it was everything. You know what I mean? I think it was when Gabe was booking it and stuff, and all the everything. The drama with Gabe was all fascinating to watch all that play out within the roster and stuff. Because when he pieced out, he created his whole new faction in Dragon Gate, and it was interesting to watch all those changeovers happen. But you get access you get to just I'm gonna doing these packages and stuff like that. So you get to sit around and watch the best of the best of Ring of Honor and prep it for Ring of Honor. So it is kind of a dream job for a wrestling fan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in a way, it's funny because I never had access to Ring of Honor growing up. So I was a big WWE fan.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, and WCW and ECW,
yeah.
But really, I was a WWE kid because, like I said, I'm born in 1991.
Yep.
So
You're
like,
right there, and you're right on
Ring
that.
of Honor when they started coming up, I was younger and I didn't have access to the flea market tape trades and DVD trades and like. All this I'm gonna buy these DVDs out of this guy's van by the river. I'm not doing that as a 12-year-old. So I heard of the names that were big in Ring of Honor from going on Wikipedia pages and looking up results. Because as a kid, you're who, so-and-so is now in WWE. Where were they before? CM Punk, right?
CM Punk's
I'm
a great example,
14 when he gets signed to WWE. So I'm like, where does this guy come from? And then you're like, oh, what's this? Oh, he did this? Oh, who are these names? Who's Matt Taven? Who did he wrestle with this guy? And I'm like, who's that jabroni? And all this kind of stuff. And you start to learn. And then now that I'm in the position I'm at, I'm subtly remembering being that age and looking stuff up on Cage Match and all
Cage
these
Match
things. That's what I used to find stuff.
On our
man.
end, it was just getting on Cage Match. If you got in Cage Match, that means you were made. You know what I mean? Someone might buy 2 DVDs off you. What is your hands down favorite match that you've ever been a part of the creative process? I'm talking post-production, the performance and pre-production, the performance in the ring, and post-production. You got, this is. Look at the smile on your face.
It's so tough because I got 3.
Yeah, okay, then.
I'll say that 3 in no particular order.
Okay.
So I'll say Fight on the Farm with Briscoes, Mark and Jay.
Yeah.
They are 2 of the greatest people I've ever met in wrestling, and I love them, and I think they're just absolutely incredible, and they deserve all the credit in the world.
They're amazing because they exist outside the bubble of wrestling.
They did what they want to do. They did it how they wanted to do it. They're family guys.
Yeah. They've let's control your narrative to them. They've been doing it.
Literally, they are. They're what anybody in wrestling would strive to be. Really, it's they do it on their terms, and they're who they are on camera. They're just great people. And that Fight on the Farm match was one of the best things, most proud things I've ever done in my career. Just to have the opportunity to work so closely with them and be a big part of that was just an absolute honor. telling their story from being little kids to
How many days shoot was that? Because it's a lot. I mean, it's one day.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised. I'll leave some of the magic behind my hat or whatever, but you'd be surprised. It's a fight. It was a fight.
Yeah.
It was a fight, and they fought, and we shot it. So that happened.
That's how them boys work.
It's easy. You just let it roll, and they fight, and that's what it is. But like the filming of the actual, I converted a lot of their VHS footage to digital that their mom gave me. Their mom, shout out to Mama Briscoe, Papa Briscoe. They're some good people, and they, she gave me the VHS tapes, which I still need to give back to you. Don't let me forget.
But that's that's awesome. You get to enjoy that, because as a producer, I call this psychoanalyzing people, but it's also like a level of therapy. So you're actually getting to know the psychology of the artist you're working with by just getting to watch those VHS back.
And it's just seeing that brotherly, fighting and growing together. But the second match that out of the three, that I was just in love with from top to bottom, start to finish, was Jay Briscoe versus EC3.
Beautiful.
For Anniversary 19. And the one thing that stuck with me with the inciting incident of their storyline, it's like the hand, right? Why won't you shake my hand? Why won't you look me in the eye? And you realize, how many people over your life your hand touches. And now, for me, the video package came from an idea that struck me from, so my grandfather passed away. It's actually he would have been 91 today, ironically, which is crazy. So he passed away 8 years ago, and my dad gave the speech, I guess you would say, at the wake, and he talked about his hands. He said, my father's hands have been all over the world. His hands have, saved the lives of people in Korean War. His hands saved, and protected the people when he was the captain of the state police in New Jersey. When he listed all these different things. He's like, you don't realize how important your hands are. Those same hands would hug me as a child. And I'm like, my God, my dad's a hell of a promo here. And I'm like, but he's saying this, and I'm like, wow. And I remembered that. So all these years later, I was like, that needs to be the nucleus of this video package, is like focusing on like, where's Jay's hands? Where is who's he shaking hands with? If he's not gonna shake hands with EC3, why? And so I asked him, who do you respect that you shook hands with? And he listed down all of the memorable names that he's interacted with that deserved his handshake. And he's told me what he believed in.
This is beautiful. I'm loving this.
He told me what who he respected and why. So I got those comments from him. But that's the way my dad said that. It kind of like, as a producer, you think of what kind of questions can I ask, or what can I, to get the talent going. And I thought gave him what he needed to speak on. And then he told me in his words, and that helped me. So that was that part of the feud was great. Obviously EC3 has many words and not enough time. but that's
beautiful. The symbology of just, it is something like, and you see in the narrative how, Matt Taven showed up, we turned the lights purple, and then we turned into a story about purple. And just to
he's feuding with a lot of people over the color purple. It's gonna be probably a ladder match soon. He's fighting for the color purple. I'd hate to see the day where he walks out and he's wearing green.
What's at the top of the ladder of a ladder match for the color purple?
It gotta be the book.
Gotta be the book.
Or the DVD of the supposed movie, which I believe was produced by Oprah.
It's just a gigantic crayon.
Hey, they sell those at the kids stores. You get those like cheap photography, where you're like 5 years old and you sit there and like they have the big crayon in the background. That would be nice.
That's beautiful that you were able to, because I think the hardest, to me, the way I see wrestling is poetry, and this is art, you know what I mean? And everybody in the ring it's a physical art form, it's a physical contest within who they're taking on and also in themselves. So to hear that you were able to take a handshake, a memory of your grandfather and your father, and apply it to that match. And now I'm gonna go back and watch that video, because I haven't watched that video package since that match aired.
I mean, and those guys started that's that's their story. That's where we were. That's where it was going. I was just trying to tell that story with my own experience to kind of to help get it over as much as I possibly could, because they were doing such a great job, and I just
If that
want to
was
use my
an HBO episode, you that handshake was the recap for their 3-act structure that they hit out of the park. You know what I mean? Like that's 100% like that.
and they're both amazing.
They're both amazing, and I hope. And it was something that we. I don't know if you knew this, but like through the pandemic and stuff, and when EC3 started wrestling there, we were like, no, just send Jay down here. Like we were like straight up, like if they like we were so hungry to put those two together, especially when the essential character happened. I was like, we'll set the ring up in a mechanic shop. Let's go do this. Like let's get. It was one of those things where like EC3 said it a few times. Just send Jay down here. We said send Jay and you, and like we'll knock this out of the park. You know what I mean? And it was one of those things that. I wish it would have been on the front. Because it kills me because there was no fans, and to not. It's so. Wrestling is so based off of, and we in the narrative we have projects that act as our extras. We have a reaction base there, but like so much of wrestling is like you do something and there's a taunt.
Of course,
the
that's how they tell you.
Yeah.
Their reactions tell you pacing.
Yeah, and yes, and now we have a new world where the psychology of how to perform in wrestling and tell a story was totally just ripped away, and now you have these different forms. And I mean, not to pat myself in the back, I'm very happy with what we've done with the narrative and going, we can do it with no crowd, we can do it with a crowd, and I'm also producing these inside of underground rooms that are this big. You know what I mean? If Ring of Honor, let's say you guys did all your shows at the dojo and it was just the rest of the roster in the crowd, there might have been a different feeling you would have got out of it. You know what I mean? Could be. I said it all the time when Impact was running. I was like, why isn't the roster ringside? You know what I mean? Like just. Like, not everybody, but they had Ring of Honor and Impact have a thick enough roster that you could have put 15, 20 people and kind of change them out, just so you have that, like, ohs and ahs, and those are so important. What's your third match?
Third match is not just so much a match, it's probably the entirety of a feud with Matt Taven and Vincent of the Righteous. Yeah. So, both of those, Vinny's a horrible human being. He's just the worst.
I see the same thing about his partner, Bill.
Taven's not much better, but he's got some redeeming quality. Dutch is a disgusting. He's a beautiful man.
He's a disgusting human being. In your world, he's a beautiful man. In my world, he's a disgusting human being. You know what I mean?
In my world, he's my cigar supplier.
Yeah.
But that feud, it's beautiful storytelling at its finest by those who are participating and involved and in the ring, and to be a part of that feud, which really kicked off my first night in the company.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That was my first night, and I was just trying to figure out what I was doing, and that was really my first opportunity at telling a story with my own like creative freedom, right? Yeah. So I'm going in, this is gonna be where I can choose a path. I'm either gonna be like the guy that doesn't know what he's doing at all, or the guy that maybe doesn't know a lot, but hey, he's really trying hard and he maybe have something. And that was my mentality.
Like with the levels of depth of Vincent, you're lucky. I'm saying, I'm blessed to I got to work with both of them vicariously just through the narrative, but I'm really excited to do a lot more with the both of them. But like with Vincent, it's more than just the Charles Manson, the Rob Zombie. There's so much intricacy in just how he performs.
Well, he's one of the most incredible and underrated performers in the entire business, in my opinion. He is unique in so many ways that people do not give him any credit for. It's outrageous. He is so organically authentic, and he's believable, and he believes in what he's doing, exactly like I said earlier.
Yeah, he is 100%.
And that's why, when we're doing stuff and with the group, and that's what he is. He's a maniac, and he leads those players in the group, and that's just what it is, man. And they're all great.
Quick question before we end it. In the narrative, so you're my first producer I got to sit down with, and I hope to do a lot more of these. I hope to have you back here, especially as the world keeps on changing. I think there's a couple more conversations between you and I, and hopefully we are going to collaborate. Because I even said, as everything was changing in the world, I was like, I hope I get to work with Zane out of all this.
I appreciate that.
So I said that. I looked right at Bill Carter and said that. I was like, okay, and with or without your affiliation to Ring of Honor, I hope that one of these narrative tapings we have, I'd love to just be like, hey, these two matches are yours. You know what I mean? And like because this is a collaborative art form. The narrative is a blank canvas for everybody to paint. And I totally hope to do more with you. But what is your, not even dream match, but what is one wrestler that you would like to free, and help create and help, because you've already worked with a lot. I'm just saying, in the entire universe, whether it is somebody you haven't, that you wish you would have done better with in the past, or somebody that's just a dream person. Like I always say Ric Flair, because I know that there's some pain in there that I want to see.
Oh, so like anybody, it's like, it's not like a possibility, it's like anything, like Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy, okay, yes.
Jeff Hardy was, besides Bret Hart, who was my number one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Bret Hart kids.
Of course.
Yes,
I mean, Shawn Michaels, very close second, but Hitman all day.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy was my favorite in my now I'm 10, 11, 12 years old, and
absolutely.
I'm cutting my baseball socks in the circles, and I'm putting them on, and I'm doing the thing with my hair. I've always had, long hair and stuff, and I'm flipping it up and then doing a swanton bomb onto my wrestle buddy or my friend off of the treehouse onto the trampoline. So that was he's my guy as a young kid, and I wanted to emulate him and
so
be
you
just
didn't,
like
so
him.
you weren't at Ring of Honor. You only been 2 years, so you didn't.
I just missed them, man. I just missed a lot of people that I feel like would have been cool to work with and collaborate with and make. I think. Yeah, I just think it was unfortunately timing was just not there. That's okay, because the people that I did and do work with, I was there for a reason and they were there for a reason. And I'm glad.
I totally think that you will cross paths with Jeff. Maybe I will too. You know what I mean?
I hope so. Jeff, if you're listening, man, listen, if you're trying to do stuff with Willow, listen, I don't even know Willow that much, because I'm talking like Jeff Hardy, I'm early 2000s, that's when I was like WrestleMania 16.
Yeah, throw him off the top of the roof.
That's my biggest memory, WrestleMania 2000 of him. But I always thought that working with him and doing stuff, because he's a musician too, and he's off beaten path kind of deal. I just feel like we could potentially click.
It's all vibe potential. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think he just seems like a really awesome dude. So I'd love to collaborate. Or Matt Hardy. Yeah. Really, I mean, both of them, honestly, because the Hardy compound stuff, and just all of that character. It's tremendous work, and I wish I could have been a part of that.
Absolutely, and I've been many of drunk nights sitting with JB, just hey, tell me this, you know what I mean? And that's what it was lucky that EC3 would bring me around him, because I'd get to just pick those.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, because the total deletion, the whole deletion universe. We'll say a deletion universe. It came out of nowhere, and it really. Set the pace for cinematic wrestling. Now, did it help? I'm not blaming it. I'm not saying it jumped the shark, but cinematic wrestling, and you and I have been able to produce that now. There's certain rules and stuff that they didn't have back when they started Total Deletion. So it was a wild west of cinematic wrestling. You know what I mean?
And the one thing I will say real quick, just a note on cinematic wrestling, and this is just unprovoked. I'm just saying it because I feel like I have to say it.
Yeah.
What Ring of Honor did, I do not consider cinematic wrestling. That was just a fight with cinematic cameras following them. Yes. They fought their ass off. And that was a fight.
EC3 says that to me all the time.
We followed them, and that's what it was. Yeah. That was not a cinematic match. They fought. They fought.
Yeah.
That's it.
That is 100% what EC3 tells me all the time when we talk about that, because
Matt and Vincent,
we're wrestling.
Briscoes fought.
Wrestling shot cinematically.
Yeah, exactly. Because listen, end of the day, these guys are fighting. They got something to prove, and I'm just there, and I'm just trying to make it look and sound and feel as good as possible, and they're putting their bodies out there, and it's a fight shot cinematically, not a cinematic match.
This is Ariel. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me,
more
brother.
Of these.
Yeah,
definitely.
man.
Thank you. There's Zane, everybody.
That kid's made of the right stuff, huh?
Oh yes, he was.
Huh?
I remember texting you that night, going, "Wow." I felt so. I don't want to use the word drained, but it was so much serotonin that was released throughout that I felt drained at the end of it. I was like, man, it just was I can feel his excitement, because you could just tell he hasn't had the opportunity to talk about it ever.
Yeah, but who's going out of their way to interview the, video guy for a company? Nobody. And they make some of the shittiest talents I've ever seen look good. So they make, somebody fantastic and awesome like me, a demigod.
Yeah.
No, but the amount of work he puts in. I remember doing TV with him when we were filming things in a hotel, or we went over to the dojo and we're filming, and I'm like, all right, I'm at 3:00, blah, 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 blah. And I go up to Zane and I look at him, and eyes are just red and bloodshot, and he's just been up for 24 hours or something crazy, just filming and editing and filming because we were putting so much TV into one trip. I'm like, dude, you're a hero, man. And so him having the chance that hopefully any creative entrepreneur in any sort of field that finds this gets to, gain something from that. The kid's only, 28 too? Yeah. Like, the sky's the limit for him. If he's not one of the best in wrestling right now, he will be. Mm-hmm. And if he's not the best in wrestling right now, he also will be.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. So let's move on to some unpaid advertisements.
You got anything?
We got this week.
We've done that.
We've done that.
We did this one over here. We did
that one. We did that in the back.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, you're right.
We did that one in the back.
Oh, we didn't do this.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, let me kick off this shoe. All right? Because I wear this unpaid advertisement from at Correctos. Correctos. Okay, things about feet, and this is totally unpaid advertisement. Thing about feet is you use them every day, and it's not like vanity muscle. It's not something you work out. It's not something you think about taking care of. I mean, people get pedicures. I actually had one, and I did not like it. I felt invaded. It felt
really, very invasive.
Yes, I did not feel great about it. But foot health is important, and being in wrestling, the ring, the surface, plus, I'm running sprints, I'm training legs, I'm barefoot squatting, like doing all these things. And I had a toe surgery during the pandemic.
That almost killed you?
No, the subsequent infections almost killed me afterwards.
Still started with the toe is still patient zero.
Oh, yeah. The toe was patient zero. And, the thing about the toe was, I don't know if I even needed this surgery. I think they tricked me into getting it because we're coming out of a pandemic. And for some reason, the medical field makes a lot of money. It's almost like they're forcing things on you so the medical companies, possibly pharma companies, make their money off of conniving or getting you to, instead of natural healthy remedies.
You go to a doctor, it's the same thing as going to a mechanic.
If you go to a doctor, you're going to a drug dealer. Let's face it. Let's not even lie about it. So I didn't really think twice about it. I'm like, I guess I can get this surgery because I'm not wrestling anytime soon. So I get this toe surgery, and it wasn't a good job. I had my therapist tell me, why'd they pull that pin out like that? That makes no sense. What did you have done? I'm like, I don't know. He didn't really explain it. And then my toe kind of went crooked. And now I'm like, I guess I'm going to go into a rant of the week on the toe because this is getting me fired up and it reminds me of something else. So my toe's been hurting forever. And there are days where I can't walk. I go train, I'm doing cardio, I come up here, we're on our feet all day, I'm walking, I'm talking, it's just taking the life out of me. And the toe will not heal. And what was the rehab they gave me? Oh, I don't know, do some toe raises. Take walks. I'm a fucking athlete. No shit. I do that anyways. This toe would not heal. And it just kept getting more crooked. And it would come and go with pain, come and go, it comes and goes, whatever. And then, in the middle of it, I get my car detailed. Team 3 Automotive, thank you for that.
Team 3D, yes. Yeah, great job.
Fantastic. Car, $1 million.
They get the tables.
Yeah.
When it comes to cleaning, detailing your car, they get the tables.
They surely do. But, he's a fan, and I had a couple, he did your car, he did Moose's car, and he likes me, and who doesn't? And so he wanted to take a picture. I'm like, yeah, all right, but I'm the essential character, I'm deranged, kind of psychotic, I shouldn't be driving in a sparkly, clean, nice Jeep Wrangler. I should have a grape van or a beat up old truck or something with 3 wheels. I should be driving a piece of shit. What was that car they had in Fight Club that they took off? It was just this long, old ass Lincoln.
Old ass Lincoln, yeah. You should be driving
a boat. I should be driving that. It should have
It should be more dangerous than the Ecto-1 that we used for Matt Cardona.
Yeah. So he wants to take a picture of me, and I say yes. So we take the picture, and first off, mini rant of the week on the fact he took a picture of my interior where there's creatine and glutamine spread all over the seat because I had a spill. If you don't know what that looks like, it's white powder. So the first thing he posts about, cleaned EC3's interior today, and there's just bastion of white powder all over everything. And people are like, this dude rocks. And you know what? They're right. But so he posts a picture of me standing with my brand new sparkly clean Jeep. He's real happy. And it's like a full body shot. And I have these sandals on, which I shouldn't wear because now I'm doing a lot of research on barefoot and minimalist shoe technology. But like they're cramp my toes together. So my already wrinkly, shitty, painful, this thing really hurts every day, not only my body, but my mind, because I have to take steps and I'm just thinking about the pain all the time. This shitty, crooked ass toe is kind of pushed all the way over to my big toe. So it just looks horrible. And
Your
then
toes
what
are already
happened?
weird looking too. Like
I have a weird left middle finger. Yeah. All right, my phalanges fucking suck. Who cares? I have the perfect aesthetics, but God granted me weird looking limbs. Who gives a shit?
Your expenditures have.
My metacarpals are fucked.
Yeah.
Like my brain. Anyways, so they post this picture and what'd you say? Matt Cardona fucking points out the fact that my wonky toe is looking real weird and points it out to his dipshit, loser, fucking virgin ass, stinky, bearded, 40-year-old fucking idiot action figure fucking losers. Fuck. Coward, beta, soy suck. Never having kissed a woman, let alone making love. Asshole, fucking losers, crooked teeth, bad breath, shitty tongue, probably got all that white shit on it. Fucking action figure dorks. Talking shit about my toe that is fucked up, and I'm not first to admit it. My toe looks like shit, and I get that. But you know what else? It looks like shit because I'm out there doing something every day, working my ass off, building a body, a temple that's damn near perfect, carrying every company I'm in, every company I create, every podcast I'm on, every moment in everybody's life, because people want a piece of my ass. I'm carrying them all on my back, on my shoulder, and to walk that, you need feet. And I have feet, and yeah, they have a crooked toe, and it's in pain. And you're gonna bring that pain to me, making fun of me, putting that, who's that dipshit from the Goonies, the ugly guy?
Sloth.
You're putting like sloth fucking phalanges, tagging me on Twitter like you're so funny. When I can look at you in the nude, I'm Da Vinci's anatomical man. You are a fucking thumb. You look like a thumb, you're a bag of milk, and you're gonna even make one critical comment about how I look. I don't do that to people, and I am perfect in every way besides my expenditures. So fuck you, Rant of the Week, assholes. I will sign your action figures for an exorbitant fee, and I'd like to take this time to thank Correctos, because since I've been using Correctos, I actually really thought, I was like, is my foot gonna be what takes me out of wrestling? This fucking foot with that stupid surgery?
Yeah.
But it straightens out the toe, and like every day it looks
So
better.
it's a retainer for your toes.
In a sense, yeah. But I could wear it with shoes, and then I'm getting these minimalist barefoot shoes. Will be an unpaid advertisement, and I do the Vibram finger toes, but then I do the toe spacers, and I do the socks, the finger socks now, which are a big. I can't believe how much.
So you're trying to avoid the bunching of toes. You're trying to
and it needs to straighten out because the tendon got like super tight. Because the rehab I got from this doctor was nothing. Lean against the wall. What the fuck? Like, why did you con me out of $8,000? You needed a surgery that bad? You should have been in real medicine, like pharmaceuticals, and you'd be rich. You don't need to con people into fake toe surgeries when they could have rehabbed it. I would have rehabbed that shit. Had enough fucking surgeries. God damn.
So if the fans were wondering when EC3 was in the hospital for a while, it really started with the toe.
It did start with the toe. Funny thing about that, guess what? So I had this toe, pull the thing out, like I'm healing, I guess. And then I'm like looking at it, it's like infected. I'm like, what the? That's weird. I don't think anything of it, whatever. Weeks go by. I'm like, yeah, it's still looking pretty ripe. Then I'm over at the dump. I'm talking about how my foot hurts. Someone's like, oh, I know something about feet. Let me take a look at it. And I take a look and I'm like, oh my God, this thing's infected. And I'm like, yeah, I reached out to my doctor 2 times. They said it's fine. It should be fine. No, you need to go to the hospital now. I'm like, fuck, no, you're crazy. Then I reached out again. I just sent another call. Hey, my friend, I know this is crazy, but my friend said my toe looks really bad. What should I do? I'm like, I'm telling you it's fine. You'll be fine. I'm like, I'm sending you a picture. And I sent her a picture and it looked like goddamn fucking the tongue I described to the action figure fan. Like it was just a milky white discharge all over it. And then they were like, oh, here's some antibiotics. And I'm like, cool. All right, cool. So the infection goes away. But I don't think it went away fully because then we do narrative 1 where I whip Matt Cardona's ass. At one point I fall into thumbtacks and I don't get to shower afterwards because I had to go to the Texas Roadhouse to celebrate the victory with the boys. Then that gets infected. And so like a couple antibiotics, it goes away. But then something cut my arm. And then that got infected, and I was sick of it. I'm like, I'm fine. Until one day it was elephantitis arm. Like, holy shit. And I'm like, I need to go to the hospital. I'm glad I did, because, yeah, that's what put me in the hospital. So the infection has started and just lived in my body for months.
And just to let you guys know how much of a psycho boy the essential character became, I want to say that the toe was ripped on maybe his second indie as the essential character independent appearance. Maybe it was second. Right? It was like second or third one, and it was luckily in Florida. So he drives back. I find him here in the print shop the next day, laying in a blue light because he couldn't figure out how to turn off the blue light. But he did sleep here because of the pain of the toe. He came in here. It was just like the ending of one of the narratives, because that is our reality as EC3 walks somewhere. Everybody just thought that he was, he's fighting all the time. Actually, no, his toe is just fucked. And he actually
not anymore because Correctos.
Because Correctos, yes. This has been the best unpaid advertisement ever. You know what I mean? We're definitely not doing an unpaid advertisement for fucking doctors, though. You can, maybe.
No,
if I have a family doctor, someone that's like my friend, there's a guy I go out to dinner with once in a while. He's a doctor. I love talking to him about actual health and Dune. Smart guy, knows a lot about Dune. Knows a lot about health.
Be smart to be a doctor.
But it's almost better to have that trust of a personal relationship with somebody that is handling your body, especially when you have a nice insurance that they can charge and all that kind of stuff. It's just easier these days. You really.
There was this sign I saw in a doctor's
changed
office.
Everything to "Don't trust anybody."
No
podcast.
Why are doctors never in shape, but they give you diet advice?
Oh yeah.
Why are doctors granted, I do
it's so
crazy,
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, fitness things and things like that. And man, you're really healthy. I'm like, you should see my lifestyle. Hey,
I once had a dentist that was in great shape, and he motivated me to be a better person.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he would always whisper really nice and then touch me like this.
That's
how you doing there, buddy?
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, it was something about the doctor had the stupid... Your Google search isn't a medical opinion. I'm like, I don't want this guy telling me anything. He's a fucking prick. You're pretentious. Shut up. Because I've learned more from bro science idiots than I've learned from our trusted medical professionals. Let's be honest, man. This is gonna get 100 views. We've talked the word pharmacy and the medical community. We've talked about
we had a good.
If I say the word CD. The things might as well just not exist.
Just to hit some clickbait and just start some rumors for Free the Narrative 3, there has been, with all the releases, some pretty high-profile entities walking in here, knocking on the door and talking to us. And there was one that was here recently. He really like-minded individual to our art form. And he definitely said that he's been studying the algorithm so much that he realizes that the algorithm's punishing you to follow you have to follow in line and you will be rewarded with views.
Well, yeah.
If you don't follow in line on anything, you know what I mean? It's not even just it's not even being counter perspective to the mainstream narrative. It's just if you counter anything, if either you produce free content that is like everything else, or you will not get views, and that is just the truth.
And it's why a dumbass it was experimental. I'd put a stupid shirtless bathroom mirror selfie on like every other demented narcissist idiot online, and I'm like, oh my God, this has so many likes. Why? But I put up like something tangible with like a reality-based message that hopefully reached through to somebody. It's like, that shit. I don't care. We do
Free
it
speech
for
is
ourselves.
it's censored. This goes out like, it's Friday night right now. You're all watching this. Tomorrow night's final battle.
It is.
Yeah.
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 What do you want me to do? You want me to do a go home promo? I can give that company a go home promo any day of the week. They just never asked.
I think, because we're at the go home moment of this,
The go home moment should have happened a long time ago. The go home moment is the time is now. The go home moment is it is not a final battle. It's a first strike. If you think I'm going to go out there and have a fucking wrestling match live on pay-per-view in front of people and an indifferent audience who like they'll all have good matches, they'll be great matches, but no one's gonna say a thing about it, no one's gonna shed a tear, nobody's gonna pay those people in the locker room a lick, a cent to just because they had a good match. They'll get bookings down the road, but like nobody's gonna know. It's gonna come and it's gonna go because they've been afraid to take the risk, they've been afraid to take the chance. But I live on the risk, I live to take chances. I have nothing to lose ever, but at this point particularly, I have absolutely nothing to lose. And you know what I like the most? You know what I love, Jed?
What's that?
The unknown. So, there. See, just like that. We could have given it to them and posted, and they wouldn't even answer my email, so whatever, fuck off.
So everybody watching this, stay tuned for EC3 and his final battle, or his first strike.